Hi guys, welcome back to another video of ours. I hope you're all doing well. If you're a regular subscriber on the channel, then you will be familiar with us too, and we like to come on here and basically chat about our experience buying a house. We've done a house series on our channel, so do go check out those other videos if that's your kind of cup of tea. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the positives of buying a new build. We previously did a video on our channel and we spoke about the downsides and the negatives to buying a new build. There definitely are pros and cons to it, isn't there?
I think new builds get a bit of a bad rep, don't they, to be fair. It's not all bad. There are a lot of positives to it.
So we've come up with 10 points today to share with you guys, so hopefully it gives you some idea about what are the benefits, what are the negatives. So the first point we've got,
there's always a deal to be had, isn't there, with a developer. I mean, if you're buying from Karen down the road and she wants 350 grand, you know, you're probably gonna have to pay 360 grand to get it from her. But developers don't work quite like that.
Not everybody on our road has paid the same price. Some have definitely paid a lot more and some have definitely paid a lot less. Yeah, so I think that's a positive to buying a new build. You can always get a deal. Obviously it's gonna completely depend on the developer. You can go in at a much cheekier offer rather than with, like you say, Karen down the road who needs that price sale for the house that she's planning on going on to. Whereas a developer, they probably have 5 houses built. They need to sell those 5 houses for at least this amount so they can continue buying or building the next 5 houses, sorry.
We got quite a lot thrown in because someone else was meant to buy the house and it fell through, and she put loads of optional expensive extras in, and we said, look, well, we don't want these. We did, obviously, but we said we didn't, so that they threw them in for free. Yeah,
so the optional extras were like the tiles downstairs in the kitchen and the hallway, an outside tap.
Part of the deal was £1,000 vouchers for the garden centre down the road. We checked out the garden centre and it was all flowers, and we thought this is not really helpful, so we asked them to change it to John Lewis vouchers, which they did. I mean, little things like that. Yeah, you know, shows how flexible they can be.
So the second point, and we definitely see it as a positive to buying a new build, is everything is brand new, like your kitchens, your bathrooms. You can sometimes spend a lot of money by buying the older house that needs a lot of updating, and I know that's sometimes people's cup of tea, and I think probably maybe for our next house that's something we would venture into, a little bit more of a project. But
it's nice to have new stuff, isn't it?
It's nice just to come in and not have to worry about that, and you can know that it's all got some sort of warranty to it, and you've got some sort of cover if something messes up within that time frame.
The fridge, the cooker. My last flat had a really old broken cooker which I had to replace straight away, but also the boiler. The boiler was like 8 years old. Boiler trouble is an absolute pain.
Yeah, it's such
when you've got the peace of mind that you know you've got warranty on it. It's brand new, you haven't got to deal with that for a while.
So yeah, the boiler, obviously if you're in an older house and that's what you go for, you've got the risk of it being, like Sean said, however many years old, it needs updating. That's another expense that you didn't necessarily expect to have when you first move in. Whereas with a new build, they're always going to be brand new. Again, you've got some sort of cover.
We had a fridge.
We had a fridge and a freezer, a dishwasher, obviously the oven and everything was brand new.
Didn't have a washing machine.
No, the washing machine. I think you could pay to get a washing machine integrated, but the price that they wanted, it was just crazy, and we just ended up buying our own. So yeah, that's definitely a positive to buying a new build. Everything's brand new. You don't have to worry about it previously being used, especially when it comes to like your toilets and that, if you're a bit funny about stuff like that.
Snuck in one day to let someone in to do something before we'd actually properly moved in. And I used the shower on the ensuite and you livid, weren't you?
Yeah, because I hadn't even come in and seen the house yet. I was like, brilliant, I haven't even seen it yet. Okay, so the third positive point that we've got for a new build,
and this was positive for us, but you have to get there at the right time, is you can make changes as it's being built, as you're going along. One example, the showroom down the street was not an open plan. It had its kitchen and it had a wall, and then the lounge was completely separate. Ours hasn't actually been built yet. Could you just not put that wall in? And they went back and they did it, and they did it, and now every single one onwards down the street
is open plan. That. Yeah, they kind of got feedback from people that had gone around the house and viewed it, which is a really good thing for a developer to do, I think, especially in the building process. So you can be a part of that creative process. You can come in and say, I'm not happy even with the most upgraded kitchen. I know a lady on our street has had prime kitchen put in that they don't even really offer. There are things that you can request and ask for with a developer, which is a really great benefit of it.
Well, 2 of our friends down the street, so our next door neighbour, they had rewired internet to the upstairs because they knew their office was going to be up there, and our internet is at the bottom of the stairs right by the door, so they had that rewired, which is so much easier to do before all the floors have been put in and whatever. And our friends further down the street had a reinforced wall because they knew they had a big TV that they wanted to put on the wall, which we didn't know or think about.
We've now done,
yeah, our
haven't we?
wall wasn't reinforced, but we had to go back in and do it, which would have been, you know.
Yeah, and I think now we've got that kind of experience. I mean, bearing in mind it is our first home together and you do learn as you go, but they're just great things to consider. I think you can really be a part of that creative process a little bit more, can't you? Something that we've really enjoyed about buying a new build is that everybody's in the same boat, everybody's moved to a new road. I feel like if you moved into Karen's house up the street, I feel like everybody kind of knows everybody. You're probably the outsider. You probably have a few
click. People could have been there for like 15, 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. And you probably will have the very friendly people that will come and make an effort, but I feel like when you move into a new build, you do have that benefit of everybody being in the same boat. Nobody knows anybody. Everybody's happy to help.
Everyone wants to make friends. You've got a lot in common, haven't you? Because you've just moved in.
Yeah.
I mean, I think...
And we've experienced like a lot of the same issues of the house. Like I know we've said previously in our videos about the gardens. We've all had issues with the gardens, so that's all something we're like...
Everyone's bonded
everybody's messaging about the garden and stuff.
We've got a street WhatsApp group, haven't we?
Yeah, so I think...
Facebook group and stuff. So there's a lot. We made a lot of friends with people because straight away you've got things in common.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, again, you wouldn't necessarily have that if you buy that older house.
I think another really good point is you've got a couple of different options. I mean, they say beggars can't be choosers and your house is never going to be perfect, but you know, you sometimes have a few alternatives. So you think, right, that house, I love it 95% of the way there. However, you know, that one's
overlooked
on the corner. Yeah, that one's on the corner. So just, you know, I want to be a bit further in, or I want to be more overlooking the field.
Yeah.
So you've almost got the same house, but you've got a couple of different options, which is a really nice position to be in.
Whereas if you were Karen from buying down the road, you only have one house to choose from, and it either has to be the perfect one or not.
Isn't it?
We've got like a tree at the bottom of ours, which we quite like because it creates a little bit of shade, and we're glad we have that now because we have a dog. But the other houses don't have a tree, and they might like that because they wanted more sun or they're closer to the end. So yeah, like Sean said, I think it's nice to be able to pick your lot and have a bit more variation in the lot.
Yeah, and also the fact that there's different sizes of houses on the block. So you might come to this house and think, I'm in love with this house, this area, but actually it's slightly out of my budget. Yeah. But then, you know, there might be one on the street which is, you know, the same house but minus a garage or north facing garden, which, you know, you get a lot of what you want, but it's, you know, in your budget, in your price, which again, that's a great...
Yeah, really good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
So the next point kind of does link onto the last point that we've just mentioned, but you have got more high chance of getting the house that really is perfect, the one that you do really want.
Just because there's more of them on the road. If you're an all-out war with someone, it's just you against them, and there's one house and you lose out, you're heartbroken. Whereas if you get into the new build at early enough stage, you know, okay, well, I wanted that, I've lost it. Well, luckily they're springing up 4 more on that street.
Yeah, exactly that. Like your house price could... your house sale could fall through like it did for the lady that unfortunately had this house before us, and then you could lose out on that one if you were Karen from up the road. Once it's gone, it's gone. Whereas with this, you do have a little bit more option to kind of secure at least one of them because you do love the area and you do love that it's a small development or whatever.
And also if you get there a little bit early, because I mean, we're all human, aren't we? We do look at, you go and look at houses way too early. Everybody does it. So if you get somewhere, you know, you're not... You know, you're a couple of months off for whatever reason, you're selling your house, so you still need to save a couple extra pennies. Yeah. You can't get this one, but you know that a couple more are going to get sprung up on the street. Yeah. So you know, look, I'll register my interest, I'll put a small deposit on the deposit down. Yeah. So another point that we think is a really big positive, we did kind of speak about this in our negative things to buying a house, which is your snagging list. You will have things that appear in the house. However, a positive spin on that is that you do have a warranty to get those things sorted. The house will move, cracks will appear. So the fact that you have the warranty, I think, is a really good thing, isn't it? Got your 2-year thing, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean, because to be fair to them, what they've done, they've completely changed our garden. They've changed the doors, they've come and painted, did the extractor fan, God knows what else. You wouldn't necessarily have that option in Karen's house from down the road because it's your house, it's not a developer, it's your responsibility to get sorted. Whereas with a new build, you do have that time frame to kind of get somebody else to fix it, which is great, I think. Yeah, and if it's your first proper house, sometimes you don't really know what to look for all the time.
Definitely
so
not.
There might be something hidden in this house you want to buy, and you find it months down the line. And there's nothing you can do, it's too late. Whereas with a builder, if there's something wrong, they do sort it. And to be fair, our builders are really helpful, aren't they? Yeah, if we just say, look, there's something we don't understand, or can you just come and help this?
Yeah, most of the time.
Sometimes they don't necessarily have to, but they do, don't they? Come around and put something in for us. Again, a real benefit of the new builds are all these buying incentives which are there.
Definitely.
We didn't use one specifically for this house, but I've used it before.
We were considering the Help to Buy, weren't we?
We were on the cusp, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
But we knew we had that safety net. So the Help to Buy, the shared ownership, things like this are only on new builds.
Yeah, so it's a real big, I think, push to make you consider a new build more, which is very clever, really, how they've they've done it, because I think a lot of people, like you say, new builds get a bad rep because sometimes developers do rush them.
Your sister, for example, she's in a new build and they got the Help to Buy 5 years ago, and now they've just moved on, they've cleared off their Help to Buy, so they effectively got into a much bigger house that they needed, because they got, you know, at the time she was pregnant, now they've got, you know, another kid, so they've got 2 kids, they needed that bigger house, which, you know, you don't know their situation, but they might not have been able to afford a house that big without that incentive, without that Help to Buy.
Yeah, definitely. And if you were going to be buying Karen's house from up the road, you don't have those options available to you. So our last and final point, but a really good one, is the fact that new builds are going to be probably more energy efficient houses to buy.
Yeah, they're always going to be full of LED lighting, just little things like that do help, and also the regulations they got to follow. So you're going to find that all new builds have fire doors, you know, little things like that, which you don't know if you're buying a slightly older house. You know, you don't quite know. You might have to get get someone around to prove that, you know, all the sockets are properly done by electricians, they've been signed off properly, things like that. You haven't got to worry about that for a new build.
And I'm not sure if this comes under energy efficiency, but you know, like the alarms, we've got 2 certain alarms in the kitchen.
Well, we've got a smoke alarm and a
CO2 alarm and stuff, so I'm not sure if that comes under energy efficient, but they're just things that
are... they're there, you know they work.
Yeah, they are things to just have. So like I said, buying a new build does come with a lot of pros and a lot of negatives. We did do a video previously on the channel, so do go check that out, where we do share our negatives. And again, of course, guys, as always, this is our own personal experience, our own personal opinion. We're no pros in any of this information. We're just kind of sharing our viewpoint. But yeah.
So we've done pros, done cons, so would you do it again? Are you happy?
I don't know. I like a new build. Again, what I like about a new build is that everything is new. That is my favourite element of it. But would I like something that has a little bit more character? I think that's the only thing that kind of lacks in new builds.
If I was going back in time, I would definitely redo it. I was really happy, but then I think the next house, maybe not. Maybe it'll be time for something, you know, a bit more of a project.
And that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay safe. Bye.